What's up, guys? We're here at the JYG booth with George. We're going to be talking about some of the options they have for jigging, when to use them and how to use them.
Okay, so one of Gustavo's questions when he got here was, what jig for what conditions? What do I need to know? And I tell everybody, when you get out there, there's three main things you gotta worry about. So the number one thing you're gonna look at is like how deep are you fishing, right? Depth. Number two is like how fast the boat is moving, so your current, right? Is it windy? You just have like a current that the boat is moving. And the third one is gonna be the direction of where you're moving. So all those things are gonna condition your jig selection. Your jig selection is about 90% of your jigging game. If you make the right choice and using the right jig, you're 90% that way. So you're almost there, right? And it's not so much about the technique matters, but the jig selection matters even more. So it's very important to know when we are jigging, slow pitch jigging, all the good stuff that we want to catch is sitting on the bottom. So it's very important to have contact with the bottom, and that's where we're gonna pick the right jig, right? So let's say we are out of Miami, fishing 200 feet of water. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is, as a general rule for the jig size and that depth is 1 gram per feet. So if I'm fishing 200 feet of water, I'm gonna start at 200 grams. Now, if I start fishing with 200 grams and I feel like I'm feeling bottom right, and the current is slow, I can get away with lighter, I'm gonna try lighter, right? But you're safe for as long as you are at 200, right?
Yeah.
Now, what happens is, so let's say the current is less than 2 knots. So if the current is less than 2 knots, I can fish like wider profile like this, like a chunkier profile. So this profile like here are deep, will get down fast enough and it'll get plenty of action because it's almost like a leaf. Now, if the current picks up, the wind picks up and my boat starts moving a little quicker, then I'm gonna start having trouble getting to the bottom with that wider profile. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch and I'm gonna put a longer, skinnier profile that is gonna get to the bottom quicker. Because remember, the most important part is to stay close to the bottom, right? Now, like everything else, so we're just launching a new while here, new jig. So this is, as you can see, some differences here. So this is a 200 gram jig, this is a 220 gram jig, and this is a 240 gram jig. They are all similar sizes, but their shapes are completely different. So this is the completely stream. So you have one stream here, the other stream here, and this is like the middle ground here. So this will be low current, very low current. This gets down very slow, but it has a great action. So the longer you go on the jig, the more you lose action. But remember, the most important part is to feel that bottom. And that's how you do it pretty much. You know, those are the basics. From there, like everything else, you're gonna go out there, try it yourself and see what it works. Don't be afraid to switch jigs. If you're not feeling bottom, because you're fishing 200 feet of water, doesn't mean that you cannot use a 300 gram jig. That's where you start. You gotta understand, like, you gotta be flexible and you gotta be smart and make the adjustments, because the most important part is to feel that bottom. You know, you're just lost.
George, so this caught my eye. I have no idea what this machine's doing or what's going on here.
All right, so this is a good reflection, a good observation of what happens behind the scenes. So people only see our product, and this is where everything starts. So we go out there, we get an idea, I go ahead and draw it, create a drawing, we 3D print it, we make a mold, and we go and test it. Once we test it, and the design is good enough, after a lot of like trial and error and things, so we perfect it and then we send it to production. So this is what it makes us unique with everybody else. Like, we actually make everything from scratch, right? And people see a lot of jigs out there, but the coolest thing about our jigs, besides like how good they look and how much fish they catch, is like we actually make them from scratch. And we wanted to bring the 3D printer to the show to show people like this is actually how everything starts. So that's what it is.
That's awesome. Great. So George, I see that you got some slow pitch rods over there. Mind if we take a look at them?
Come on, let's go. This is actually our show special, so, and one of our new products this year. So you guys already carry our original like Revolution Pro Series, and you guys have been selling a lot of them. Yeah. We sold a lot of those rods. They're like great rods. So what we did with the Revolution ones, the 6.3, so we just did like a little higher end rod here. So we're using the same blank. A lot of people were asking for the cork, so we added the cork. We upgraded the guys in the real seat, and it's just a little more pricey, but you get it the same quality blank. It's just a little better rod, right? This retails at $349.99. It's like about 50 or 60 bucks more than the other one. But as I say, you know, you get a better deal for it.
And
right?
does this rod come in different gram
Yes.
capacities?
So you have the two powers, Power Light and Power Plus. So your Power Light is from 80 to 240 grams.
Okay.
Our Power Plus go from 240 to 540. So it covers, the two rods will cover all the range of jigs.
Okay.
So, and again, remember, when you're trying to jig, this is a whole system. So you want to match your jig size with your rod, so you are not working harder, right? And that's how you're going to get the majority of your bites. And then another cool thing about the show is we actually are officially launching our Landfall Rods. A lot of you guys are fishing like the party boats and things, and sometimes you know, you just want a longer rod. You know, you have a bigger boat, and this is actually our new Revolution Pro Series long, so it's 710.
Okay.
Very similar blank as the other ones, but it's just longer. Two-piece. We build them with the higher end guides and the real set and the cork, just like the other one. And yeah, it's just a new option, two powers, Power Light and Power Plus. The Power Light on this one goes from 60 to 220,
Okay.
and from 220 to 420. So it's a little shorter range, because it wouldn't make sense to make it heavier, because when you go that heavy, you really want to go to a shorter rod. So it's another great option. Price point same as the other one, $349.99. All the rods have a 1 year warranty on the blank. So you break it, you put it in the car, you snap it with the trunk, don't matter. Call us, pay 50 bucks, get a new rod. You don't have to be stressed about it, it's just 50 bucks, get a new rod, go fishing again.
So just one more question, because I got a lot of questions in the shop about it. What about slow pitch jigging with a spinning rod?
All right, so it's not ideal, because so we have slow pitch jigging, spinning blanks. So they're exactly the same blank as the other ones, so you get the same action. The thing is, like when you're slow jigging, you want to feel the rod like it's almost a connection, extension of your arm. If you have a reel down here, spinning reel, you're not going to be as comfortable. You're not going to have the same crank capacity. You know, it's not going to be like flawless. Now, if you're just trying to get into it and you have a Zaragoza 6000 or 7000, and you already have it at home and you don't want to buy one of those, you know, expensive slow pitch jigging reels, it's a great option. It works. Now, if you're trying to dial in and do it often, and this is what you're going to be doing for the next year, I recommend you to make the investment, spend some money on a reel and a good rod, because guess what? If you buy something that is expensive, then also if you don't want to do it for the next year, you can sell it and you get the resale value as well. So, you know, make an investment, it's worth it. I tell everybody, like, if you buy good stuff, it's better long term.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, George. If you want to visit us at Crook & Crook and see all their JYG products that we carry, we have the rods, the jigs, the assist hooks, and much more. Come and see us at the shop.